In terms of working group management, creation, etc., I'll just kind of give a little bit of an overview here. When new working groups are created within the Alliance, I step up and help create the infrastructure items behind that. The goal here is so that everyone in the Alliance doesn't have to become an expert in Google Drive and Google Groups. Instead, we've taken all of the best practices and things that we've learned from the working groups that have been formed and created in the past, all of the little things that can be tripped up, and we've put all of those best practices and lessons into a checklist and process that we use to create new working groups. And so Julia and I work through that process. If you're going to be creating a working group for somebody, like a team in your own organization, you're free to take a look at that checklist and see how we set this up and the best practices that we've learned. But the bottom line is that when we follow that checklist on your behalf to create a working group for you within the Alliance, we'll create a new Google group for you. The Google group helps facilitate not just email communications, but also permissions on the various document folders. We also create a folder for your working group that you can use to organize the documents that you create. And we update several of the global content, like the C website, the working groups document that we described earlier, et cetera, with near-term goals and those sorts of things. We make sure that the permissions and everything are configured so that your group has a good experience and so that the people in your group are able to read and edit files and send messages to each other and see the communications that you've shared with each other in the past. When your working group is first created, we will generally add the people who have volunteered to be a part of the group. We'll go ahead and add them to the Google group, but if people want to join later, the leader of each working group has the permission to edit working group members. You can do that just by going to Google Groups. It's a website, groups.google.com. You'll see the groups that you are a member of. If you're the leader, then you have the opportunity to add additional members to your working group. You can see an example here, which is the members of the working group training working group. We recommend that you add each person with their preferred email. If that preferred email is not a Gmail address or not from a G Suite, like Google Workspace account, then it's recommended that you add a second entry for an individual with their Gmail account. That just helps to manage permissions for document editing. If you've got any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me and I'm glad to help. We also provide in your working group folder an email template that you can use to welcome people to your working group and help them to understand where they can find documents. If you are an individual and you'd like to join an existing working group, here are a couple of ways that you can do it. When you go to the C website, which is softwareexcellencealliance.org, the C Community tab has a page for active working groups. And if you peruse that list of active working groups and you find one that you're interested in, there's a form on the right-hand side that you can use to join one of those working groups. If you're already a C member and you are interested in joining a particular working group, then looking in the root folder at the working groups document, you can send an email to a particular working group team leader and ask them to add you to their group.